Going on, Falcon fans? This is your boy Recondo coming back at you with another video. So today, I've been gone for a while off. I was in Carolina watching the game. Got back on Sunday. Took a day or two off to come back and talk to you guys about the Atlanta Falcons. Disappointing, you know, um, last two games that we have had. All the positive things that we could say. Just a disappointing outshowing on prime time for the Atlanta Falcons on Thursday night. A lot of things that we can talk about. Of course, the big story will be about the quarterback position. Marcus Mariota. Will Arthur Smith go ahead and make a change with that? He gave us his thoughts on that on yesterday's press conference. So like we're sticking with Marcus Mariota. We'll talk about that tonight and get into some of the other things that these guys definitely can do. Like Arthur Smith said, we're definitely still in the playoff hunt. But at this point in time, we just have to see if they can get some things fixed and some things cleared up to be better going forward. So, guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop a video. Please hit that like button so I know you guys like here to talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, like I said today, I'm really not going to talk. I'm going to talk about the Carolina game, but I'm not just going to talk about the Carolina game. I'm just talking about the Atlanta Falcons in a whole, where they're at right now, where we look like moving forward, especially these next three games. See, do we have the potential to actually get back into it? Of course, the Bucks won their game. They're 5-5. They got a 1-game lead. Saints lost, right? They still behind us, but it's up to the Atlanta Falcons to turn this thing around. It is a possibility. They definitely still can turn it around, but they're gonna have to fix some things, and we'll definitely talk about it today. And get into it. We'll talk about from an offensive standpoint some of the things they need to fix. We'll talk about from a defensive standpoint some of the things that, like I said, guys, going into November and December, you want to be playing your best football. The last two games, what's going on, Anthony? So, the last two games, some of the things that I seen, you could say like we taking a step back in some areas, but at the same time, playing a team, within that 10-day span, it's pretty tough. Hard to beat that team twice in that short period of time, especially when they're going to come out on their home turf, rain, wind, and stuff like that. It's going to be tough to beat. But the Falcons definitely had the opportunities to win that game. Like I said, I was there. I was really disappointed in the game. Of course, the Falcons always make it close like they did. They still had a chance to win it at the end, right? They had the last possession going in. However, they could not, get anything going that last drive. So it was what it was. So, but it's so many things that we could talk about. Like I said, the big thing we could talk about is the quarterback position. And I can honestly I can sit here and tell you guys that's one of the things that I definitely was going to talk about, especially if I just came right after the game and I looked at some of the things that I felt that, from a quarterback position, Marcus Mariota could definitely make some more plays. But when you go back and you look at the game again, which I have done, went back and looked at it, everything is just not on Marcus Mariota. Yes, he does have some things that he definitely needs to fix. One of the things is accuracy, being able to get the ball to Kyle Pitts. Some crucial plays that you look running out of bounds, taking a sack, just run out of bounds. At least throw the ball out of bounds there, going across your body on some passes, some things like that. But it's definitely one all Marcus Mariota fault. So, like I said, we'll talk about the offensive side of the ball first. And some of the things that I feel that we definitely need to clean up definitely before getting to the Bears game here on Sunday. From the first thing I want to talk about our offensive line. Now, it's no secret that we all talked about the offensive line this offseason, and, it had to play better. One of the biggest issues with our left guard position, right? We thought we had that locked up. However, Elijah Wilkinson went out. He's put on IR. Then, of course, Matt Hennessy was put in, and he actually went down. Kobe Gossett came in. Um, Kobe Gossett played well in the Seattle game in week 3. However, in that Carolina Panther game, guys, he had in my opinion, two big penalties, especially on big plays in the game where the Atlanta Falcons had got a first down and they got called back because of a holding penalty. So things like that. Of course, that's not just the whole game, but plays like that, the football is about momentum. You got to get the drive going, and you get a holding penalty in the game that really hurts, especially some of those critical drives, especially when you're not going to get a lot of drives, especially with a team like Carolina who's going to try to control the clock as well. And that's definitely what we got. So those penalties hurt us a lot. So that's why I want to talk about offensive line first. Offensive line, the Carolina Panthers kind of dominate the trenches in that Thursday night game. From a defensive standpoint, offensive standpoint, we'll get into defense in just a minute. But from a defensive line, it seems like the defensive front for the Carolina Panthers was in our face continuously in that game. Marcus Mario had not that much time. So, like I said, you can put a lot on the quarterback. At the same time, the offensive line, I felt, did not give him enough time in some of his reads to actually make some of the plays he needed to make. Yes, he had a lot of throws that he probably would want back, a lot of decisions that he probably would want back. Of course, we know about the one he just threw the ball up. Luckily, he was down already on that play. But from an offensive line standpoint, I felt like our offensive line did not play well enough. We knew for a fact that they was going to put 8 men in the blocks. And we're going to have to pass protect to get the ball out. They was going to not let us beat them in the run game. They was determined to do that. We was going to have to do it in the passing game, but we have to give the quarterback time. And I felt a lot of times the offensive line did not hold up well. We had too many holding penalties, too many pressures. Right time the quarterback got the ball, and if his first read was not there, definitely he did not have time to actually to go to his second and third read. So first thing I want to talk about is the offensive line. I thought the offensive line definitely let us down. Of course, we're on our third string left guard, I meant to say. So that could definitely be a reason. But for one thing I can say, we definitely have to get our offensive line play better. Going into this week's game against the Chicago Bears, we know it's going to be another battle in the trenches. Two teams that's very run heavy. So we're going to have to be able to run the ball like we did early in the season and be able to dominate the line of scrimmage from offensive line standpoint. Anthony says, I was disappointed too, but I will say we are still in the race. We're not out yet still. Can we NFC South? We're only one game behind still. And that's the positive side of it, right? Like I said, that's why I'm here on Tuesday. Because I won't lie to you guys. I was disappointed the last couple of days. Just thinking about Atlanta Falcons. Like I said, definitely could have won that Chargers game. I know that. I just didn't like the play of the team as a whole on Thursday night. It really was. I mean, from a special team standpoint, defensive standpoint, and offense standpoint, we just we're just not ready to play. Hopefully, these guys get their mini bye, come back, and be ready. We have played 10 straight games, right? That's what it is going into, and we still got 3 games left before we get our bye. So we still got work to do, but maybe this mini bye let these guys get back rejuvenated, get back into doing some of the things that they did well early in the season, where we like the trajectory of this team going forward. Like I said, in my opinion, the last 2 weeks look like they took a step back a little bit. Definitely could have won that game in the Chargers game. We ran the ball for 201 yards, but at that point in time, we missed just too many plays on the field in that Chargers game. James, what's going on, James? Anthony said our biggest flaw is going 3 and out too much on offense, then having to punt. We'll either have a long drive and not score, or straight up drop passes, get third downs and punt. And that's what I'm talking about from an offensive execution standpoint. I talked about execution last week. when we talked about offense execution. We have to be able to execute, especially the way the offense we run, because we're not gonna get a lot of opportunities simply because the way we play as well, right? We're gonna control the clock. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna run a lot of plays. So if you're gonna run the ball a lot, control the clock the way we do, we're gonna have to make sure that we're able to, like you said, execute and put points on the board. If you don't do that, right, it's no need. I mean, there's no win if you hold the ball for 9 minutes and come away with 3 points or no points at all. You got to be able to score touchdowns when you have a drive in those manner, because you're shortening the game at one point, so you're gonna limit the number of touches you get as well. So you have to think about that. And then you're playing a team like the Carolina Panthers, who's gonna try to, do some of the same things you're doing, control the clock, run the ball. You're not gonna be able to have that many opportunities on offense, especially if they're able to put points on the board, which, in this game, they kept a lot of more plays than we did, and that's why they came away with the win. All right, from an offensive standpoint, let's get into the elephant in the room, the quarterback position, right? So I can honestly say I'm one of the ones that think that they probably should go ahead and see what Desmond Ritter has. Um, I've been an advocate for Marcus Mariota all season. You guys know that. You can go back and look at my videos. I've been talking about this. I feel like Marcus Mariota runs the offense well. I think he really do. I think the operation offense is really good. You got to think about how many different formations that Arthur Smith has this offense running. So him running the operation of the football, getting guys in and out of plays, getting to the position they need to do, understanding what their game plan and things like that. I think Marcus Mariota does a good job in that. However, I just believe at some point in time, and I talked about this before, when you have the kind of weapons that we have to be able to take advantage of that. If they're gonna put 8 men in the box, which the Carolina Panthers did, which most teams are gonna do because they know Atlanta Falcons like to run the ball, we have to be able to take advantage. And I feel that we have mismatches out on the outside, and we got to be able to get them the ball. Now, I'm not just saying it's the quarterback, but I just feel like, what do we have to lose at this point? Give the guy a chance to go out. I just don't believe the preseason was a fluke. I don't believe that. I believe the way Desmond Ritter is able to throw the ball, he deserves opportunity just to see what he can do. I think he's a better passer than Marcus Mariota. Now, the operation of the offense is might gonna be a little shaky, but he's a rookie. We should be able to expect that from a rookie. No rookie comes in and be 100% be able to operate offense the way they should be. But at some point in time, we got to be able to see what this young man has. We 4-6. We're definitely still in the race. I'm not giving up on that, but maybe just give him a series or two to see what he's able to do. I just feel like we'll be able to stretch the field a little bit more, be able to pass a little bit more. Our Marcus Mariota, it's not accurate. He missed a big play to Kyle Pitt in that game. Go back to the Chargers game. Too many deep throws that we missed. I seen on Twitter that Kyle Pitt's target percentage on missed targets is 30% in this league, which is the highest in this league. For one of the best players in this league, when he's targeted, he has the highest missed target percentage from a quarterback to the receiver. And that means they're not on the same page. I do not understand that. We all talked about, Matt Ryan need to be gone and things like that. But we have to remember, last year, Kyle Pitts had over 1,000 yards receiving. 1,000 yards receiving. That's not because it was a different offense. It's the same offensive coordinator, the same player. Only thing is different is the quarterback. So if Matt Ryan, with the lack of talent that he had on that team last year, can have over 1,000 yards with Kyle Pitts, there should be no reason why Marcus Mariota should be able to just show some resemblance of that. I don't understand why we can't just get some kind of resemblance of that. And the only thing I can think about is the quarterback receiver combination is the chemistry is not there. So why not change it up to see what we could do? We talking about a receiver and Kyle Pitts, tight end who had over 1,000 yards, was a Pro Bowler last year. Only difference is the quarterback. The same offensive coordinator calling the plays, better talent around them, and for some reason we cannot get Kyle Pitts the ball. I don't understand that. That's what I'm saying. I understand. I love Marcus Mario. He's a great guy, but I just think maybe we should change it up just to see what happens. Um, we Mighty Ice can't move in the pocket. If he was here, I could say probably get a little more sacks. Offense wouldn't be as good in the running game, but I can promise you this: Drake London and Kyle Pitts will have way more yards, way more catches, way more receptions than they have right now. And that's just a fact because Matt Ryan was able to get the ball to his receivers. And at this point, I do not see that in Marcus Mariota. That's a fact. I'm just telling you these guys. Unless Arthur Smith just completely strapped the whole playbook from last year and said that none of those plays worked for Kyle Pitts. So we're just going to do something totally different this year. So that's what I'm trying to say. I love our running game. I love our physicality. I love the way we play. But if we can't get the ball to our playmakers, who we drafted really high in the draft at number 4 and number 8, and we can't get them the ball, especially when the defense is lining up for those guys to have the advantage. They putting 8 in the box. When the defense put 8 in the box, they telling you need probably going to throw the ball because we're not going to let you run it. That's what they're doing. And for some reason, we're not able to capitalize on that. Not enough, in my opinion. You want to get them out of the 8-man box and make them worry about our passing game. And then we can run the ball more efficiently. That's what we need to do. If we want to be a running team, we got to be able to throw the ball. That's what I'm at it with it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. However, Arthur Smith said he's going to stick with Marcus Mariota. We'll see where it goes. Marcus Mariota has had great games this season, right? He was the offensive player of the week in 1 week that we had. So I'm not saying that he's terrible. I'm just saying that at some point, we have to be able to start to see this offense evolve into something more than just a running team. Anthony mentioned it. Too many 3-and-outs, right? Too predictable. I heard the announcer say that the Falcons run the ball on first down. They predictable. They're starting to get unpredictable, right? We get into second and 9, then we try play action, and then we end up with 3-and-out because we can't connect down the field. All right, we need to evolve this offense, make it more. And I know Arthur Smith has the ability to do it because last year when he had nothing, Matt Ryan was able to throw the ball to the little receivers he had. Right, he only had Cardell Patterson and Kyle Pitts last year. He was still able to win 7 games with that offense. So, and this is a better team than last year. Let's just be honest. It really is. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm still riding with my quarterback, Marcus Mariota, but I really don't see a reason why we should not give him a chance to see what he's able to do. And then he says, "What's sad though, we couldn't run the ball on Thursday and Patterson wasn't executing carries." Right. That's what I'm saying. If the running game can't go, I'm gonna tell you the reason why though, because they was not gonna let them beat us with the run. They was not gonna let that happen. On Thursday night, the Panthers was not gonna let the Atlanta Falcons beat them with the run game. That's what I'm talking about. That was not gonna happen. They keep Mario and they keep it simple for him. I guess so. I don't know what it is. I have no idea why. But it's you're right. It seems like the route concepts is like a one read route or something like that, a quick slant or a crossing route. It's not like a whole lot of route combinations. And what I mean, if you just go back and look, and I know it's preseason, guys. I understand the difference between preseason and regular season. It's totally different. Teams are not scheming and things like that. But from what I've seen, the way Ritter passed the ball with timing and precision, the way he utilized the pocket, stepping up in the pocket and throwing the ball all over the field, I just think he deserved a chance. I mean, that's just my opinion. At this point, we drafted a young man. We don't know the future of this team. I understand we're still in the playoff hunt, but what would be the harm of just seeing what he's capable of doing? That's where I'm at with it with Des Ritter. It's the entire team, not just quarterback. I hate to start the job for work preseason. The entire I agree with Christy 100%. It's not just a quarterback, and I'm not going to just put it on the quarterback. For one reason, one of the things that we talked about coming into this season was the offensive line, right? We talked about that's probably was the weakest link in our offensive line. Matt Ryan got hit 150 times last season. Some of it was his fault, of course. He's not mobile enough, but and we had some of the worst graded offensive linemen on the team. One have not played this year. Jalen Make had not played, right. Our offensive guard from last year, he's still been on the IR. Caleb McGarry has been playing better this year, so the offensive line has played better. However, like I said, in that game just passed, they got a lot of pressure on our quarterback early and fast. So the offensive line didn't play well. So it's not just the quarterback. And I understand that 100%. But I still do not understand why we can't get our weapons, our receivers, the ball. And the reason why I'm talking about the quarterback position, because he's the one that gets them the ball. So either the coach, the play calling, it's something. It's the chemistry. For some reason, I do not understand how Kyle Pitts goes from having over 1,000 yards receiving to almost only having less than 500 yards through week 10. I do not understand that. That's my point. And you're supposed to get better from 1 year to year 1 to year 2. That's my concern. I just don't understand how it's different. It's so different from 1 year to another year. You would seem that the running game is so dynamic that we have that it will be easier to get him the ball because our running game is so good, right? Last year we could not run the ball this effective. We could not. So, we had to pass more. This year it's the opposite. We can run the ball like no other, right? We top 5 in rushing. So you would make you believe that we should be able to get the ball to our dynamic weapons on the outside. And say, as much as I want to see Ritter, I think Hart Smith's putting his cost Ritter probably telling him he's not ready. He might not be ready. Mariota, no one knows exactly. I have no reason why he won't do it. Right. Only thing I can think is, Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith has a plan. And you have to believe in their plan. If you're an Atlanta Falcon fan like I am, I'm going to ride and die with these guys and, see what they do. But as fans, we can definitely be critical because we're not in the locker room, right? We don't see what happens in practice. We don't know what Des Murder knows. We don't know if he's ready or not. Like I said, I was an advocate for saying he need to sit. So I'm with you guys on that. But at the same time, at some point, I want to see this offense. I want to see our weapons being utilized. That's just me. All right. And I know Arthur Smith get tired of the questions and saying that Kyle Pitts is having a good season and stuff like that. Yeah, but it's the coach's job to put the guys in the best position to utilize the talents that they have. All right. That's 100% what the coach is supposed to do. Put the guys in the best position to utilize the talents they have. If we watch Kyle Pitts in college, if you watched him last year, his best talent is catching the ball. Yes, we want him to block for his running backs and things, but his best talent is a receiver. He's dynamic in the passing game. If we're not going to use him in that way, why did we draft him? Especially guys, we started talking about this week when Justin Field comes to town and all the Twitter fans and all these guys that wanted Justin Field is going to come out the woodwork, especially, and Justin Field come home, right? And he lights us up, and Kyle Pitts have 2 catches again, like he had on Thursday night, right? Then we're going to say, why we pick a tight end at number 4, and we could have had our future quarterback. Just saying, I'm not saying that, but guys, that's what's going to be talked about this weekend. just stand by and wait for it. We already know that's gonna be the narrative, especially if Justin Field plays lights out and Kyle Pitts don't do anything, right? That's what's gonna be said. Just wait for it. Just believe when I'm telling you this, guys. This, you know, I'm right about that. Just wait and see what happens. It's not fair to put him in the O line can't hold up defense to be productive. I I I'm I agree with you, right? So, like I said, I'm the one that was saying that he does not need to play. But if we can't get our weapons the ball, what harms would it do? Right? We still in the race right now, right? So maybe we get a couple more weeks. The Falcons can't turn this thing around, which I believe they should be able to, right? We got 2 winnable games, actually 3 winnable games, definitely. The way the Commanders played looked last night, they look real good. The way Chicago's been playing, they look real good. The Steelers been playing, so it's not going to be as easy as we think. But at the same time, 3 winnable games for the Atlanta Falcons coming up. So if we can get this thing turned around, all these things will go out the window. Just like Art Smith said, losing 2 games in the 5-day span kind of got everybody in the frenzy. Everybody starting to say the season's over, things like this. I'm not there yet, but I do want to see this offense evolve. And that's my point I'm making. I think it's smart to let Ritter sit and learn what not to do. They do the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. They made him sit a year. All this stuff is true. So the arguments you guys are making are 100% accurate. I guess I'm just a little selfish, right? I want to speed up the process. Patrick Mahomes, you're right. He played the last game of the season for the Kansas City Chiefs that year, and they saw what they had in him. So maybe that's the blueprint for this team. I think they're 1 year ahead of schedule anyway. Right now, we got out our salary cap issues that we had and things like that. So I agree 100%. Let him sit, but at the same time, if they put him in, I'm not gonna be mad with that either, right? So the conversations out there, I understand where everybody from both sides of it. I really believe it's not just Marcus Mariota. I do believe that. 100% believe that. But I can say this. The times that he has had time to throw the ball and he had guys wide open, he have missed too many of those opportunities. So those things, ones that he got to get corrected, right? Even if when he has the time, that means the offensive line blocked well. Great. They picked up the blitz. He had his time and guys are open. He has to connect on those plays, right? Those are the opportunities that we want to see. If we can see those opportunities, I think the chatter about the quarterback will stop, right? But too many times, especially in the last 2 games, right? Those three bombs for Kyle Pitts, that was over. Kyle Pitts dropped one. I can't say this. The other 2 was overthrown or they didn't was on the right, chemistry or something like that. But those are the things that we got to get better, guys. The times when the offensive line does hold up, the ball will snap right. They got everything blocked. The receivers wide open, and we have to connect on those plays. That's where I'm at with it. Ritter is better passer, but O-line can't protect him well enough. Last year proved that, right, Ryan? Oh, that's a good point. Like I don't know if you put him in, but you gotta remember he's mobile as well. He's not a runner like Marcus Mariota. I agree with that. But Desmond Ritter is not a pocket quarterback. He's a mobile guy. He's really mobile, so he should be able to move, get out of some trouble. Not as well as Marcus Mariota. I agree with that, but he should be able to get out of some trouble. He's not as a pocket passer as Matty Ice was. So let's get rid of a little credit to be a little bit mobile than Matt Ryan would be. I think Mark Mariota needs to sell the play action better. I think telegraphs. Like I said, I think he's just a one-read quarterback. I think it's the first read there. It's because you got to remember, guys, go back and look at the first couple of plays, first couple of throws that he made in that game. It was on time. It was on target. They looked perfect. Like, okay, this offense is to get a rhythm, right? But when that first read's not there, and he started to hesitate and stand in that pocket, and then he started to make like guys, he made some rookie plays in that game. How many times he threw across his body back into the middle of the field, right? What was that when he fell to the ground and just threw it up in the air? That's not that's not a quarterback who's been in the league for 8 years. They don't make those kind of plays. So he was trying to make plays every time. I understand that. You gotta love that about a quarterback out there trying to make plays. But those plays are no. I'm pretty sure they talked about in the film. Don't make those plays. Don't throw back across your body late. Don't do that. Back in the middle of the field. And if you don't have anything, just throw it out of bounds. Leave the play another down, right? Those are things that we don't want to see from Marcus Mario. Those are things we haven't been seeing this season from him. He's been making good decisions with the ball, doing the things that we want him to do. Like I said, operation of the offense looked better than it did on Thursday night. I agree with y'all. The passing, what isn't certain, what the coaches hasn't admitted to is the play calling. That's what I'm saying. It could be the play calling. I don't know. I haven't that we would not be, we would have to be in the room and identifying what is different from, like I said, the play calling from last year alone to the play calling this year. We don't know what Marcus Mariota is comfortable with, vice what Matt Ryan was comfortable with, correct, in the passing game. We don't know that, right? Marcus Mariota has a say, what he's comfortable with, what plays that he feels that he can, execute in the game. So the game plan could be tailored to that, or whatever the case may be. We don't understand the whole dynamics of it. That's why, we the Twitter coaches and the social media coaches right here. I'm on YouTube talking about it, so I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on, but I've been watching football long enough to know that when a guy's open and you throw the ball to him and you miss him, I can see that. But you don't know if it was the quarterback fault or the receiver fault, right? That's what we don't know. We don't know if what depth he told him to run, where he expected him to be, the timing. We don't understand. We don't know all that because we don't know how the play was designed per se. So, but to your point, Christy, it definitely could be the play calling. There are other things that people haven't considered since blank fan team ownership 2002 have not kept coaching administration past 3 seasons. Smith current record the last 2 years. I don't. So let's get this out of the way, right? Because I've been hearing this as well. Arthur Smith's job is not in jeopardy, right? Like I said, if you just go back the last year with the salary cap issues we had, and the team that we had, and the success we had last year, I mean, that was just one of the most outstanding coaching jobs from my perspective that I've seen. This year, another team that nobody expects to do anything. We're right in a playoff hunt going into week 11. So I don't think Arthur Smith's job is in danger at all. And I don't think the expectations that Arthur Blank has on him this year is to win a Super Bowl, right? I don't even think he had him needing to make the playoffs this year. I think he just wanted those guys to be competitive and go out and play. And I think that's what they have done this year. So I don't think that Arthur Smith, this regime, is in trouble at all. Like I said, they got a plan, they got a vision, and it seems like they're sticking to that plan and that vision, right? Despite what we all might want to see, what players they keep, what players that they play. Despite all those things, they're doing what they feel is the best for this organization moving forward, and we have to respect that, right? Falcon fans, like I said, I'm riding out with this team no matter what decisions they make. That's just like I said. That's what I do. That's why I say it's a real Falcon fan here. So I'm going to ride with this team no matter what. But I don't think the coaching got any worries. Especially just going into season 3, especially all the movement that they have just made over the last just 2 years, 2.5 years. This year's not even over yet. We don't know the final outcome this season, what it's going to look like. But I think these guys got a lot of potential, right? These young guys are playing great football. We just have to see going forward, and we have to let me just say this. Let's just trust the this regime right now. Let's see what they do, right? Despite what we want to see on the field, I would love to see Ritter, but I understand why they won't put him in at the same time. So I heard a stat Kyle has the fifth mode. I just talked about that. And see, this is what I'm talking about. I, I don't know if it's the chemistry. What's going on with that? How is he not being able to catch uncatchable balls like that? It don't make any sense to me, especially with his catch radius. Right, this guy's 6'6", got an outstanding catch radius. All you got to do is put the ball in this area. He should be able to catch the ball. He's not a guy that was coming out of college that had a problem with drops and things like that. So I just this is one of the reasons why I just don't understand why he can't do that. And then, if, like I said, you go back to his rookie season. I mean, he made so many great plays last year. That's why he was a Pro Bowler, right? A rookie Pro Bowler, because he made so many great plays last year. Just go back and watch those games. And him and Cardell Patterson was the only two weapons that we had last year. All the Bears fans seem to think that it's going to be an easy game. They all say we tanking, so it's going to be an easy win for them. We ain't tanking. I don't know why they think we're tanking. Trust me, we ain't tanking. And this is right. This is why I love other fan bases and things like this, because they don't watch football per se. They just watch their team and they underestimate other teams. It's almost like the national media do, right? Because the national media probably don't know who's even on the Falcons team, right? But so they come out and say, "Oh, we're gonna dominate that team." What their record over there? They're 4-6. They're sucking. But they really don't realize that the Falcons could easily only have 2 losses on the season, right? Probably the Rams and the Bengals. Every other game we've been in. We've been in every other game this season, right? And we still had a chance to win that Rams game. If you think about it. So the Falcons is better than people think, but we just got to be able to go out and put it on the field. I love when the fan bases think it's going to be an easy win. They come out and say, "Oh, we didn't know that about this team." You said people keep talking about building the culture for a business inclusive. It's customer fans right now. It's not happening. These 2 years we will have 5+ wins. I can tell you this, just being at the last couple of games at home this season, I can see a change. Fan base is starting to believe they like this team. This team is a team they fight. They really do. Even on Thursday, right? They still had a chance. I thought they played one of the worst games they played all season on Thursday, but at the end of the day, they still had a chance to win that game at the end. That's what's so amazing about it. They played probably one of the worst games they played all season, even to include the game they played in Cincinnati, and they still had a chance to win. They still had a chance to be in it. It was 15-22, and they had the ball in their hands. So that's just this team in the nutshell, right? And I believe that the culture is changing. Just my opinion. It might not be going like I said. Fans want to see stuff happen like this right away. It's never going to be easy, especially when a new regime, right? It takes time, right? We still building. We got young talent, young guys playing. One of the toughest positions to get under control is that quarterback position. We don't want to be a team trying to have a quarterback carousel year in and year out. So we want to be able to identify our franchise quarterback, like we did with a Michael Vick, like we did with a Matt Ryan for 14 seasons, right? We want to be able to establish our franchise quarterback moving forward. So we got to get that down first. But I can see that this team is going in the right direction. I love the culture it's building, right? Um, Fight to the end. That's what the team shows. Like I said, even on Thursday, they showed that they're going to fight every play, every down until it's over, right? Because she also says right now, Smith's current record doesn't match Blank's family business, vision, core value if it doesn't come with wins. Yeah, he got to start winning eventually. I agree with that, but I don't think Arthur Blank assumed that, you know, with the salary cap that the way it was last year, and then coming in this year, we still had some of those big numbers on there. Um, and if you're going to have a young team the way we do with no veterans on it, one guy's on 1 year deals. I'm hoping Arthur Blank is not that naive to believe that Arthur Smith was going to be able to turn it around um, that quick. I just hope he didn't believe that, because if he did, like I said, he just need to let Rich McKay run it, and he just be the owner, because there's no way that he expected the Atlanta Falcons to start to be a playoff teams with the condition Thomas Dimitroff and Dan Quinn left this team in coming into last year. So that's just you know not believable for him to think that was going to be the case, and I hope that's not what he's thinking. I know it's before Marcus Mariota throws the ball, he stares his target now, like he doesn't try to look anywhere. Like I said, I think he's a one read guy. That's just my opinion. You know, maybe predetermined. Like you said before the snap, where he's going with the ball, and it's not there. He's looking around. And he has made plays, right? He have extended plays going out his first, second read. But if he ain't got time, I think he need to be more decisive. If that read's not there, take it down and run it. Maybe that's the answer. That would eliminate some of that indecisiveness and throwing the ball across the body late across the field, because that's going to cause issues. So that's what I think about Mariota. The salary cap, as well as fans purchase tickets, products do matter. I base my post on Falcon coaches' records when they drop below 7 wins a season, and the organization of course. This, like I said, all these are good points. I agree with you 100%. Especially in a sport. In sports, it's all about winning at the end of the day. Arthur Smith knows that. That's why he keeps saying that he want to create a culture, at home where it have the home field advantage. But he know he has to start to win eventually, right? That's what it boils down to, right? I'm gonna tell you what I love about Arthur Smith, because everybody knows his family history. He got dad FedEx, sisters, and things. In Hollywood, directing movies and things like this. He does not need the coach. A lot of guys that come in, they do it because it's their career, what they want to do. But I know he loves football. I know he wants to win. Right, this is what he wants to do. He's been in it for years. Um, I think he's a football man. What I'm trying to say. So I like that about him, and I think he's gonna try his best to put eventually put a winning product on the field, or have that winning culture. Everybody know you can't win every year, but to just be one of them teams that always competitive every year, in and out. I think Arthur Blank will be happy with that. Um, I think the fan base will be happy with that. We can start to see a winning culture year in, year out. You know, be the Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning was there. They did not win, Super Bowls every year, but they was there in the hunt every year, right? Be the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mike Tomlin, who has never had a losing season. Um, that's the kind of culture we want to create. Hopefully, that's the vision that Arthur Blank wants. That's the division that Arthur Smith and Thomas and Terry Fontenot want as well. I literally, from the moment he hikes the ball, the time he throws, he stares down the target and watches the run the whole route. It's too predictable. Like I said, I mean, That's the kind of quarterback he is, guys. I mean, like I said, um, everything's got to be perfect. And if not, like I said, I just think he just needs to be more decisive. He said it himself. I mean, he understands. What was I like about Marcus Mariota, he understands what he needs to do. He just got to go out and actually execute it. E. Sloan said, "What's going on, Chief? We got to get some win against the Bears. Plus, the other game before we go to bye. I agree. We have a chance. There are winnable games. I'm not going to say that we can win them all because, like I said, I love the way the Commanders played last night on Monday Night Football. That's going to be a tough game for us, especially going up there to play those guys. The Bears, they're going to run their ball down our throat. We gave up too many running rushing yards last week, 232 rushing yards against the Panthers. Like I said, I thought their offensive line dominated our defensive front in that game. Yes, it was wet, it was windy, it was raining, all those things, but um, our we got dominated in the trenches, and the number one rushing team in the league is coming to town. So, of course, the quarterback has a lot to do with that. So we better get ready to be able to probably put a spy on um, um, Justin Fields. And I'll get my keys to victory tomorrow for you guys. We'll talk about that game. The business of football has to be productive with fans. Satisfaction is spent as the owner pays players. Need to balance. Only the Brown fans have the number. Yeah, well, it's a little bit more fan bases. Let's see, the Bears, the Packers, the Bills, the Cowboys. Because you got to remember, the Cowboys ain't won in 30 years. They still got the biggest, largest fan base in the city, in the nation, right? So some of those fan bases are huge, and they ride with their team every year, no matter what, right? The Falcons does not have that, right? Because you go to Atlanta, so many people who live in Atlanta is not from Atlanta in the first place. So you have to get the Atlanta fans, the homebred Atlanta fans, to start to get behind this team. But the Atlanta fans don't like losers. It's just the way it is. You got to be winning in Atlanta. That's just the way it is. The Hawks, the Braves, they know if you ain't winning, you ain't gonna have no fans. So that's just the way it is in Atlanta. They not like the Browns. They're not like the Packer fans, the Eagle fans, the Jets fans, Steelers, Bills. Those fans travel well, um, and you can see that when you go to our games, how many fans of those teams are in our stadium. This is the first time that I have traveled from Mississippi to 4 games, but after 10 games, it's harder to spend my money. So I tell you what, let's try come to 2 more games, Christy. Um, let's try 2 more games and see what these guys do. They still got opportunity. They're not out of it. Arthur Smith is 100% correct. They're not out of it yet. All right, let's see if we can get these next 2 wins, put us at 6-6, and then if we can do that, well, we have to, win against the Bears, go to Washington, win that game, then come back, and their next game will be against the Steelers. So we got to be able to do that. If we can do that, let's give them a chance and see if we can do that. But I love the fact that came to 4 games. That's awesome. Maybe I'll see you there at a game. Me staying at home to cheer on the team won't mean that I won't be a fan list, but be more enthusiastic to attend games we win. I agree. The last game, was you there? The last game, the Chargers game, we almost won that game. What's going on, Millie Mills? Um, they did lose their running back too. Khalil Herbert was put on IR today. I didn't know that. That's good. That's good info. But we got to worry about Justin Fields. I think he's going to be the X factor in that game. Like I said, when I do my keys to victory tomorrow, you guys check that out. But I think Justin Fields is going to be X factor in that game coming up. I understand sticking with Marcus Mariota, and I was high on him earlier this year, but can't stand by now. This dude has to do better. Hey, Mills, I'm with you at this point, man. I was the one that was advocating all year for Marcus Mariota, but at this point, in my opinion, let's put the rookie in, man. Let's see what he got. But if they stick with Marcus Mariota, I'm cool with that too, right? He just got to play better, right? Especially if we're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna lose, I'd rather lose with a rookie. That's just me. She said, I'm coming to the Falcon Steelers game, and shout out to the Aints and Falcon game. Yeah. Hopefully when we get you get that Steelers games, we be at 6-6, right? We could be at 6-6. We'll be right there. That'd be a big game for us going into our bye. Oh, you went to the Tampa game. Okay. That's awesome, man. Like that. I'm trying to get down to that Raymond James Stadium. I've never been to that Tampa Stadium, so I'm gonna try to get there to see that game. All right, guys, real quick, we're gonna talk about a defense real quick. I talked about a lot already. The biggest thing to me in the defense on the defensive side of the ball is that too many explosive plays again, right? The one to we gave on the swing route out to Chenault. That was an explosive play. We gave up that. We gave up a big explosive play down the middle of field where they went on the slant pass. Those probably the two most explosive plays they gave up in their game, but those big, huge plays, right? We need to eliminate the explosive plays. That really hurt us in that game on defensive standpoint. Eliminate the explosive plays. And then our trenches, defensive line, I thought got bullied a little bit in the run game. Those guys ran for 232 yards against us. We was before that game, we was like ranked like fifth in defensive rushing. Now we're all the way down to 16. So we have to get better. We have to be able to stop the run. We was one of the worst rushing defenses last year. We have not been the case this year. So we don't, like I said, the trends that we don't want to start to get worse as the season goes. We want to get better. So that's one of the things that I noticed from a defensive standpoint. Big plays and just got dominated in the trenches. Definitely going to be another key for us this week going against the Bears. We got to make sure in the trenches that we able to do better in the trenches. So from a defensive standpoint, that's where we were. I thought the trenches and just giving up too many big plays, right? They wasn't that successful on third down. They were like 6 for 15 on third downs. We didn't really have to worry about throwing the ball. Like I said before, that big play to I think Jefferson's name Jefferson. The quarterback only had like 35 yards, so we'll just have to see. Okay, sir, are we getting AJ back? He said he don't know yet. He gonna let us know tomorrow. The injury report comes out. Of course, they don't have to give it out yet. AJ been working. Hopefully he's back, man. He had a lot of time out with. He missed last 3 games, so hopefully we can get AJ back. That'll definitely be a boost for us in the game if we can get AJ Terrell back and out there in the defensive backfield. So, guys, that's really much I had to say about defense. A lot of it was about offense because I just thought we had too many opportunities, on the offensive side of the ball that we did not execute. Defense stayed in the game for the longest. If you think about it, like I said, they gave up 2 big plays in that game. But we did give up 232 rushing yards. So we got to be able to get back to being able to stop the run in the middle. That's what we got to do. And then the last thing, guys, which is really shocking to me is our special teams. We had a terrible punt by Pinion in that game. They gave them a short field. Youngway Koo missed an extra point. I thought that was big because it would have made the game 10-13 instead of 13-9. Of course, their field goal kicker missed the kick, got it right back. But at the same time, We just got to be able to special teams. We can't have those kind of mistakes on special teams. It was wet. It was raining. I understand. It could have been whatever the reason it was, but we got to be able to not. We have to be execute on special teams. Like I said, most time you talk about special teams um special teams when it's a boo boo, right? That's the only time you really talk about it. If it's not, everybody talk about it. There's a boo boo or a big play. That's really the only time you talk about special teams. Talking about special teams today because we didn't play well in the kicking game, punting. We did have a great punt by Payne, pin those guys down deep. I think on 2 yard line. We forced a 3 and out in that. So it's not all bad. It's some positives. You always take the positives and the negatives, but at the same time, when you lose, you can pick out all the negative stuff to talk about what we can do to get better. And just in those aspects of the kicking game, we have to do a better job. So, guys, pretty much that's where I'm at. Just catching up. Like I said, coming back from the game, being out a couple days. Not talking to you guys about this team. Can they get back on track? Hopefully they can. We'll just have to see. Tune in tomorrow. I'll give you my keys to victory for the Chicago Bears. See, can we get back to 5-6, right? To get us back in the hunt in the NFC South. That's what we need to do. So, you guys let me know what you think. I'm on Team Ritter at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. However, if they look like they're going to keep Marcus Mariota in, I'm not going to, talk bad about him. I hope he plays well. And I really hope he plays well, man. I really do. I hope Marcus Mariota turn this thing around. Hopefully be offensive player of the week again. That'll be awesome, right? Then we'll put that to bed. But until we start to see some changes and this offense evolve, I'm gonna go ahead and start pounding the table with Desmond Ritter. Hopefully, we don't have to lose to see that. I really don't want us to lose games for Desmond Ritter to get in, right? Hopefully, Marcus Mariota plays well the rest of the season. Get us, we talk about the playoffs until the end of the season, if we making it or not. But just to have that conversation out there that Atlanta Falcon is fighting to get in the playoff would be awesome for the rest of, for the next 7 games. So that's what I would love to see going into this season. Don't want to start talking about next year, and draft and stuff like that. I think it's way too early for that. So hopefully we can actually start to see these guys play a whole lot better. Right. And guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Great discussion with you guys. Love to hear you guys' opinion about how we see the team. At the end of the day, we don't know what the coach is thinking, right? We don't know what's going on in practice. We just know what we see on film. We want to see these guys get better, right? They know that fans going to critique. That's what it's all about. And I'll be honest with you, I do have Carter Patterson and Kyle Pitts on one of my fantasy teams, so I would love to see those guys start to go off a little bit more. just to be a little selfish, right? Because it'll help us win games for one reason, and it'll help me win in my lead as well. So this is your boy Recondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.